Hello everyone, welcome back to Isyour6covered. We're going to do a quick live video. Reason for the video was I had a chance to basically get in contact with USCCA.
Do a quick live video.
And let me monitor this.
Reason for the video was...
All right, let me get back here. All right. Sorry for that obnoxious voice. All right, so the reason for the video is basically to answer those. I asked them 3 questions, and from a video I did previously, there was a couple great questions out in the chat room, and I was like, well, I need to get these answers because I don't know them, and I don't want to, say something that's incorrect. So basically, contacted them via a live text on the computer. Daniel, thanks for showing up. But I had a couple quick questions for them, and they were able to answer them. And then I had a great question to ask them. Hey, Big Lou, thanks for showing up. But I'm still waiting on the answer. So first thing I asked them was, and I can't remember who brought the question up, but it was a great question. And the first question that I had was, that I typed into the keyboard deal was, does your family have coverage since I'm a member at home? And the answer that they brought back was yes. In the home and right around the home, like on your property, that coverage will also apply to your family members as well. The second question I asked them was, does it the coverage that you have, right, the membership that you have, does it also include an expert witness? And I thought that question was really good. I don't know if someone had brought that one up in the chat, but doing some research with other companies, because what I'm trying to do is get a lot of questions answered and kind of compile the information so that if people have questions, I'll have the correct answers. But one of the things looking at a different company was, in order to have expert witness, the ability to utilize an expert witness, you had to pay an additional cost for coverage. So a company that looked what looked to be very cost effective for coverage, as you start adding all these little things up that they ask, do you want coverage for this? And, we have this, and we have this, and we have this. By the time you get all that together and say, well, yeah, I want to be covered here and here and here and here, did the prices comparable to USCCA? So depending on what you were looking for. But my question was, because I already have USCCA, is do I have the ability to have an expert witness with the coverage that I have? And the answer was yes. So I was pretty excited to hear about that. The other question that one of you guys brought up was, let's see, does it have to be a pistol? So all of a sudden I find myself in a life or death situation, and I'm hand to hand with this person, and I use my brutal force to basically disarm and kill the bad guy, right? Will I be covered even though I didn't use my firearm? Let's say it jammed, it didn't work for some reason, and I had to use a weapon. The answer that they had said or stated was a weapon, a lawful weapon, so a weapon that you're able to have that's legal. If you utilize that, let's say a bat, for instance, or a knife, if it's a legal weapon that you can carry on you, say you have a pocket knife, we'll just say that the gun jammed again, right? And you had to protect yourself or your family with a sharp object. Would you still be covered even though you didn't use your firearm? And that answer was also yes. So I was excited to hear about that, because that was a question. I'm like, well, I don't know for sure. Now, there may be companies out there that do not cover you if you utilize a different weapon. So those were some of the things. So along with that, basically texting back and forth with this guy, on their site, their website, USCCA website. I also asked, what would be the possibility of getting a representative from your company to basically do a live chat with me and answer questions that all of us may have concerns about. I know a lot of you guys have different coverages, and I'm not sitting here trying to push for you guys to get any certain company per se, but it would be nice if you got something. And then basically to learn what the pluses and minuses of that company is. I'd like to see a live chat with basically all the different companies and what are some of their positive and negatives. Hey, Big Johnson, do they pay for hazmat cleanup? See, now that's a good question. A lot of, and the reason for this chat, besides those 3 questions I wanted you guys to get the answers to, because 1, you asked them and I didn't know them. 2, I wanted to know the answer as well. But the 3rd reason why I want to have this chat going is because I want you guys to ask questions just like Big Johnson did about, because I'm going to compile them, and if I do get the chance, if they respond, they're supposed to respond via email on whether that would be a possibility of actually chatting with a representative. And if that is the case, I want great questions like Big Johnson's. Do they pay for hazmat cleanup? Do they do this? Do they do that? And kind of use that to see if you're getting apples for apples, or if you're basically, maybe the coverage you have is something you're like, man, I never even thought of that. I never even thought to ask that question, or I didn't read it in the policy anywhere. And who really reads the policy, right? I mean, once you start getting down to that really thin line stuff, it's kind of difficult to keep with it unless you're like an attorney, you think like an attorney, you understand the jargon, because a lot of it may not even make sense to you. Do they pay for your gun to get out of jail if it is kept? So there's another good question. So when you guys are watching this, and when it goes to not live anymore and you're able to put in the comments, put in those questions that you may have. And I definitely want to ask them if I get the ability to actually live chat with a representative. So I think that'd be pretty good. Some of the things, you know, Big Johnson's got 2 good ones already, but it's, once we get the answers to this company, I want to do the same thing for the next company, you know, and see what company is the best for you out there. Me personally, I've been using USCCA since 2012. I really enjoy what they have to offer for me. I hope to never have to use this insurance, just like I'm sure most of you as well. But it's definitely a peace of mind. I've said it before in the past. Takes a little bit of the financial burden off of you. We got 2A self-defense laws in the house. They generally take all your guns if you're arrested. So that's something to look into. Now, do they take all your guns? That would be more on the law enforcement side. I think that would have to do a lot with what type of, you know, basically what had happened and what state you're in. But it's another good question. That's something that we could ask them for sure. But I think there's a ton of questions. I think, you know, with these people, like the last one in Florida, it's good to know what happens when someone does pull the trigger. It's unfortunate. Man, the rain's starting to go good. But if you guys have any other questions, I definitely would love to see them in the comments. I want to keep this small, keep it more like a little video. I appreciate you guys showing up. Definitely leave the questions down below, because if I do get the opportunity, which I'm hoping I will, no guarantees, but it would sure be nice. If you guys have any other companies that you'd like me to look into, I know Big Johnson, he's out in Texas, and they have a couple different ones out there. Some of the concerns could be, do they only apply in the state that you have the license in? So that's some of the stuff that USCCA, doesn't matter where you're at in basically in the United States, you're still covered. You need to make sure that your reciprocity laws still are in effect and all that kind of stuff. But Inside Freedom, thanks for showing up. Are you covered in all states that your LTC is recognized in story from state to state? See, and that was one of the good things about the company that I'm using is right now I do have coverage throughout the 50 states. It may even go farther into that, but I've never really looked because I don't really, you can't, most places if I travel outside of the country, I can't bring a firearm anyway. So firearms legal protection is good in all states. We got Big Lou with the trust. Do the persons on my trust get to keep the rest of my guns if I am incarcerated for a short period of time? That's a great question, Lou. I appreciate that. Big Johnson would be the answer. Insight Freedom. Let's see. With an attorney from that state. USCCA, are you covered in New York? Good questions. I don't know the answers to a lot of those, so that would definitely be a good thing. I appreciate you guys showing up. And let's have a little fun. We're still doing the fun giveaway. If you guys have been playing along, there's one of you guys that already has 2 points. But if you comment, you got to wait for the video to go not live. So I'm going to give you guys a riddle, and it goes like this, worth 2 points. Are we ready? It is Armament and Axis. Thanks for showing up. It runs, but does not walk, and has a mouth. It runs, does not walk, and has a mouth. All right, good luck. Can't wait to see it in the comments. Not here while it's live. See you guys. Take care. Stay safe. See you on the next video.